Now I hate it. I hated that version of Jor-El and the message that not the message that was sent, but why are they telling Superman to form a harem with humans on Earth? That was the one
uh,
thing where I was like, okay, listen, I get James Gunn's humor. And I get sometimes it can be a bit crude, but telling Superman to just go out there, fuck bitches, get money is crazy.
I think it's so. Is that ever part of their message? To me, it feels
No,
like it makes the most sense. Like you are going to
that's
this.
Zod's message. Zod tells you to go out, fuck bitches, get money. That's who he is. He's an
Uh,
evil bastard.
oh yeah, I think Joshua Austin's right. The media spins the harem part, but I thought it was like the message was to. You watch it twice, so you are now the authority because I only watched it once. But I thought the message, like the extra part of the message, was to like you rule over the planet because you'll be like a god to them given your physiology,
They
right? And
told him
then
to go out and procreate en masse.
all right, but that's you have to reprop.
Procreate en masse,
To me,
bruh.
that's not like this. That's like a the Kryptonians are dead. Like we need more Kryptonians. Like you're the last Kryptonian.
Yeah,
You
but
have to go and do this.
that's still a
So
weird thing to say and have in a Superman movie. Like, hey, yo, go rule over them and fuck.
I think I think Joshua Watson's relying on the goodness of like he just saw it, so he's relying on the goodness that he understands the Jarrell and Lana L. I think it's her name, right? To have.
Ah, like that. Okay, so with Jor-El never really has that sort of message for Superman. Like Superman generally has good parents who care, like who send him to Earth, not even to like flourish or anything. They just want him to survive. I don't.
Mm-hmm,
There are a lot of iterations, but they don't even know that the Yellow Sun has that effects and makes him into Superman that we know.
mm-hmm.
So to have this iteration of them where like they're telling him to go out and be conquerors, it's like that's General Zod's mentality. Like I would have liked it if what's the name? There were additional messages in um what's the name? The message that Superman initially received, and there was some from his parents. And maybe you can
Mm-hmm.
have this iteration where like General Zod is an uncle or like some like a mentor of sorts or a good friend. And they find that message, and that's what Lex spins to the public because that's some
Mm-hmm.
shit that General Zod absolutely would say. Like
Okay.
you have the loving message of like going out, loving humanity, being their protector, uplifting them, and then Zod comes along. He's like, yeah, also fuck them in several ways,
Mm. First of all, stop cursing with my goddaughter watching this. I keep telling you, my
bro.
goddaughter
We would,
is watching. This is getting too much. It's for the kids, man.
since when?
Always. I'm trying to monetize. We need the money. All right, but
But yeah, I didn't like that part.
all right, but Joshua also makes a good point where like he's talking about the translation. Like when I first saw
Hmm.
the movie and they translated that way, I was like, oh, this can't be right. Like one, how do they know Kryptonian that well? So it would be
Hmm.
good to see like uh Kara's translation of what wow Kal-El's parents said. I was trying to remember his Kryptonian name, but it was good to see
Hmm.
her translation of what they said because
Yeah,
she's like the only one like she's the only one that speaks like true Kryptonian.
Clark
So she,
speaks Kryptonian.
yeah, but to me, he didn't even listen to the message. He saw it on like the news, and then he saw what everyone else was saying about it. I don't think he actually took the time to listen. So
Yeah,
to
but
me,
he goes
like,
back to the Fortress of Solitude. Like, wouldn't he go and confirm that for himself?
but when he got back to the fortress, he saw it was like destroyed, and his computer
That's
was
fair.
destroyed. He didn't actually get a chance to confirm the message, and by the time the movie ends, he's just removed it because I think he's like so disillusioned about everything that's happened. I don't think he ever goes back to listen to it.
Yeah,
So there's still a chance for his like birth parents to be redeemed.
yeah. I just think on a creative level, for James Gunn to include that, that was just a bad idea. Like,
I
it's just the whole like harem thing about it. That's what really
I,
throws me off. That was just really
I didn't get
gross.
that from it though. Like it wasn't to me. That wasn't. It's not like a harem. It's like to me. It's like all right. Uh, you are the last Kryptonian. We need more Kryptonians.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, however you do that, like I think Josh Rossum said it again. Like you could just artificially inseminate a bunch of humans. Like, it doesn't matter how
That's
you
a
do it.
weird thing to put in a Superman movie, though.
I think,
Like,
but it's like it's they're scientists, right?
yeah,
Jor-El's a scientist. I think it's more of like a scientific response. Like, yeah, this needs to be done. Yeah, like this is your duty
yeah,
now.
I can agree with that. I just think it's a weird thing to include in a Superman movie. Is all. It's like I could, if they just left it at, oh, conquer or something like that, like take over the people of Earth. Even though that's weird coming out of Jor El and his wife's mouth, but that's I would prefer that as opposed to the whole that was just the one thing that just like it's one thing that maybe make me cringe when I heard that whole like go out and procreate and then all the harem stuff. I'm just like ew, like it
Yeah,
just didn't feel
why
right
do you
in a
keep
Superman
saying
film.
harem? I don't think his
Because
parents.
everybody said harem. The
No,
news said harem.
yeah,
Guy
right.
Gardner said harem.
The news said harem because that's like that's like Lex doing his work. I don't think his parents actually
Yeah,
said
yeah.
harem,
But
right?
they said
Even
go out and procreate with as many people as you can.
right, yeah, but that's different. That's just like yeah, we need a new population, right? Even I don't even think they said conquer, right? I think they said rule. But again, I have to go back and watch it. I'll probably go see it again at some point. But to me, it's like yeah, rule
Yeah,
all these people. Like you're a god to them, so rule over
yeah.
the planet. And
But
even in the first one, they said protect them. Like that's in the first part of the message.
yeah. But it's like
So it can't be protect them
protect
but
them so
conquer
you
them. It doesn't make sense. That's why I'm like
but
this has to be something that was added based on like the media's perception of what they had just gotten and like Lex doing his thing and getting like the the monkeys to type all these bot messages.
the Snyder Bros.
Basically, yes.
All right, so that was the only thing I didn't like. So everything else though I really enjoyed. Didn't like Bradley Cooper being cast as Jor-El. That felt very out of place. They could have went with somebody else. But if I'm
What?
gonna get into the other things that I absolutely loved,
Just hold on. What's wrong with Bradley Cooper as Jor-El? What he do?
it was jarring. Took me out of the movie. It was
This is
jarring. Took me out
ridiculous.
of the movie for a second.
He literally did nothing wrong.
I mean, he didn't. Like he's just doing his job. He wasn't bad at it. It was just like, oh, that's Bradley Cooper. Like it wasn't even. It didn't feel like Jor El to me. And he just maybe it's because every version of Jor El I've seen has been like older. That to see like a young man, like a younger Jor El like that was just like, oh, I saw the actor more than I saw the actual character. And it's the one thing that Man of Steel has over this film, and it's they have a better casted Jor El in my opinion.
Okay. Sorry, and Panamania has a question, which I think
No,
Josh
correct me if I'm
Washington
wrong, but
answers.
wasn't there a version where Kryptonians insemination instead of intercourse? I think so. Cannot confirm that. Still weird to be in a Superman movie.
I don't. I don't think it's. To me, it's not. It's not weird. It's just like these are scientists. Given
Hmm.
what happened in your country, you have to give a message to your son for when he's older to do these things. That should be in
Yeah.
the message. To me, it just makes sense. I'm all for like I love movies that I love when it makes sense, right? That's
Hmm.
why I don't have any issues and no issues at all with the plot of the film. I actually forgot about the Hulk smash thing that Josh Washington was talking about, where Crypto like comes and picks up Lex and starts like slamming around. Like it's cute,
Oh
but I
yeah.
was like, all right, this is like it's like hacky. They
That
do it all the time. But plot
yeah.
wise, everything, all that stuff made sense to me. Even like the message from his parents. Like I never believed like why are they so benevolent? Like, nobody's that good. They just send them away to like with a message. Yeah, save everybody. Be a
Hmm.
hero. Like nobody does that. So I didn't have any issues with like the plot and like elements of the plot. Sorry, but go ahead. My bad.
No, but things that I did like. Mr. Terrific was my favorite character. Like
Definitely,
the
yeah.
yeah, like, and I felt so vindicated when I saw Mr. Terrific because we've had discussions on numerous episodes of the podcast where there have been topics like, black person being cast as a new 007, or like we brought up how originally they wanted to have a black Peter Parker and so on and so forth. And my counter to that was, well, Give black people an opportunity and good writing, and I promise you,
Mm-hmm.
they will make a character iconic overnight. And that's exactly what Mr. Terrific is. Mr. Terrific only had probably about like a collective 15 minutes of screen time, and now everybody's on the internet clamoring for more of this man. So, like, he is in his own way. Like, I feel like he filled like that Batman esque role where like he's the regular guy with the genius level intellect, the gadgets, and the amazing combat style, who uses all that in combination to deal with massive threats. Or also he is the guy who is the sense in the room, or the intellect that guides uh, people to solutions that like Superman or other big hitters can't really manage. And like that's what we should have more of. Like we should have more authentically black characters instead of trying to crib from other pre-existing characters, because Mr. Terrific is a perfect example of that, where it's like one glimpse of this guy and all of a sudden he's like the most popular and most beloved thing in this movie. And from his portrayal, I knew he was the shit when I could look at that dumbass T mask and after a while think it's cool.
Oh, I
That T
never.
mask ain't looked cool since like 1978. But when he put it on and he was doing his thing, I'm like, excuse me, this person is badass.
I was watching an interview that the actor did, Eddie Gathegi,
Yeah.
or Edie Gathegi.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Sorry, I don't know how to say his name. I could figure it out later. But
No, you said it right.
okay, he was doing an interview, talk about like you remember the scene where he like mushed the Lexus like employee
Oh,
to
goddamn, Mr. Terrific.
yeah. He's like he said he talks to the actor. He's like, "Yo, I'm a mush you in the face." Just letting you know for and the dude's like, yeah, do it. So he did it, mush him in the
Mhm.
face, and then James goes like, nah, do it again, harder. I was like, yeah, I love this. So it's like that's like the authentically like for a black person to be like that brilliant, and you talking, what
Yeah.
you talking for? Man, get out of here. Like I love that. That's the energy. Mr. Perfect was like hands down. He's my favorite part of the movie. I love the way like even that whole scene where he's walking up to the like teleporter and he was literally just
It's the
ignoring.
best scene in the movie.
Yeah, everybody like so many people are talking to him, and he's like it's like he's having three conversations because he's not ignoring them. Like he is
Mhm.
listening to every word that they say, and he only responds when it matters. When like
Yeah.
someone threatens him, it's like, I was just about to tell you the same thing. Finish what he was
Hmm.
doing, and then gets to work, and then sees what Lex did. Immediately, it's like, oh, come on, son. Like, is immediately pissed. Even like the after credit scene when like Superman's complaining about how Mr. Terrific put the universe back together. He's like, you serious? Just his response, like the after credit scene was kind of like a waste. Like you don't really got to stay to see it, but like that
Yeah.
interaction was very good. Like Mr. Terrific was the best. Or when they the kaiju's attacking the city,
Mhm.
right? And then Mr. Terrific gets there, assumes that Clark just has trouble killing it. Like, oh,
Yeah.
so its high must be too tough. He's like, no, I was just trying to save it. Figure we can
Mhm.
study it. And he looked,
But
he
that
just,
side eye he gave him was hilarious.
this is the side eye your son gives you when he finds out you. What do we say? We were making jokes. That just,
God.
we said something. Your son's gonna side eye you about something.
Oh yeah, when he asked me if I could beat Mike Tyson in a fight, I was like, "What the fuck? Hell no!"
That's the same side eye Mr. Terrific gave Clark. See.
Yeah.
And then
One thing
that
I really
was
like about
so good.
what's
And then
up?
he immediately kills it. He just looks,
Yeah.
does some calculations. All right, go ahead, T Spheres, get in there.
One thing
That
I
was
really
perfect.
liked was that like as black people, we're often told that we have to sound a certain way to sound smart. He spoke like a regular brother and still was the smartest man in every room he stepped in. I love that.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
he's this like this
when he
this
was with Lex,
quantum
it's
level.
debatable. They're like here. We don't know who's
Yeah, so,
smarter.
so in comics, I can't speak for the actual DCU, but in comics, Mr. Terrific is the third smartest man in the world. So
It's
it's Lex,
Lex,
Batman, and
Batman,
Mr.
Mr.
Terrific.
Terrific. Yeah.
Yeah, but Batman and Mr. Terrific are interchangeable, especially as of recent, because Mr. Terrific has been inching up there because he's dealing with like he has this comic series called The Terrifics, which is
Hmm.
essentially Fantastic Four, just with Mr. Terrific, Phantom Lady, Metamorpho, and Plastic Man. Amazing series. I highly recommend it. But yeah, he deals with more like Fantastic Four esque matters. Like Batman's on street level stuff, but like you got Mr. Terrific dealing with like quantum tunneling and cosmic multiversal stuff
Sorry, Batman is a waste. You ever think about that?
all the time.
The second smartest man in the world. He said, "Nah, I gotta go beat up this burglar. If you don't leave Gotham, what are you doing?"
Bro, his power scaling gets on my nerves because one day, like one moment, he'll be struggling to solve like a basic crime that has like I don't know, maybe one of Riddler's riddles attached to it, and then like in a Justice League comic, he'll go build like a Gundam that has the ability to navigate the sixth dimension, which is a reality that comprised entirely of imagination. And it's like, how the how are you struggling with a dude with ADHD? I don't understand. But what's the name? Yeah, Miss Terrific was awesome. Guy Gardner, loved him, even though everyone tried to clown him because Nathan Fillion was allegedly too old and they didn't like his bowl cut and everything.
Bowl cut was
Another,
perfect.
exact, another amazing side character. Like, I love the moment where like the boy puts up the flag and shouts for Superman. He drops down and he's like, "You just got an upgrade, little homie," and he flips off. Who is essentially the IDF, but we won't get into any of that because that was very political. Everyone saw it. A lot of people got angry about it, called it super woke, blah blah blah. But
That's the only thing that was like woke to me. As soon as they got on the screen, I was like, "Oh yeah, this is Israel and that's Palestine." Like, there's
I was
no
like, yeah.
question.
I was like, Hot Girl definitely dropped Netanyahu from cruising altitude.
Yeah, like I see it. That was the only thing that was political. Saying Superman is an
Mhm.
immigrant is not political. Like, he literally is an immigrant. That's by definition. I don't know
Yeah.
what y'all talk about for other stuff. Um, sorry, I didn't want to lose track of Josh Russell's comment. Apparently, he said they retconned it in the comics. So
Mhm.
Mr. Terrific is the smartest man, and then it's Batman and or Lex and Batman after him.
So, 'cause I was going
Maybe,
based
yeah.
on yeah, I was going based on Doomsday Clock, where Doctor Manhattan shows up in the DC universe and he calls Lex the smartest, and then Bruce the second smartest. But if
He
there's a
said
recent
recent.
update,
He said
oh, recent,
recently.
all right,
Yeah,
bet.
yeah, it's recent.
Hey, we stay winning.
What else? But yeah, I also Guy Gardner was very very good. Even the way his powers showed, the way they did his
Yeah.
powers was good. I love that his like projections like they reflected his personality.
Mhm.
Honestly, that made me excited to see what they do in Lanterns, right? Because I think in a lot of things I've seen, like let's say John Stewart's projections are like military based. Like, he'll make guns, right? He'll make tanks, and like uh was it Hal Jordan is more like just creative. Like, he'll make like fists and like random things. So to see like
So,
guy using like middle fingers and like just
mhm,
random stuff, like, all right, this is cool.
yeah.
Um.
Uh,
Oh yeah,
what's the
sorry.
name?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
was
Sorry.
gonna say, Green Lantern is my favorite series within the DCU, the DC comics. So, what's the name? Hal Jordan's constructs are simple but effective. So it's like he's not gonna make anything elaborate. He's gonna do whatever it takes to just get the job done as quickly and simply as possible. Like you said about John Stewart, he's an architect and a soldier. So
Mm-hmm.
his constructs are never hollow. They're built with like every nut, bolt, everything within, and also extremely durable. Guy
Every
Gardner's
nut.
are crude and brutal.
You
He
said
also
every.
uses a lot of sports stuff. And then Kyle Rayner is the he's the artist. So he's like anime stuff. That's why everyone
Yeah.
loved him in the 90s when he worked with Wally West a lot.
You said every nut though.
Don't go there. This is a kid show, remember? Your own
Yeah.
words.
Shout out to my goddaughter. Um. What else? Oh yeah. So this is the reason I think Jimmy's the bridge between everything. One is
Hmm.
because James Gunn said we won't expect it, but also two because in the movie Jimmy's character was like a ladies' man, so he just
Yeah.
had everybody's number in his phone. Like the women working at the Daily Planet
Oh.
loved him, right? He had he was messing with Lex's girlfriend, right? So that's the only reason they were able to get the information they needed to bring down Lex is because Jimmy was messing with her, right? So I would imagine that he's just messing with whoever. Like, so he'll probably appear in all these shows because there's a girl there that he's messing with because he needs information for like whatever he's doing journalistically.
Yeah.
So like that's why I think he's like the bridge. He was great as Jimmy.
That's a dope take. I like that.
Them toes. Like, ain't nothing wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with them toes.
I even liked his little ex fling. Like, bruh, I when she showed up, I was like, what purpose does she serve? Turns out she saves the whole damn day with her selfies. I thought that was a pretty cool way to
That
incorporate
was
her.
that was great. Like, and you thought she was stupid, but in reality she was like
Taking pictures of
targeting.
all his shit.
Yeah, I was like, this is great. But then I got to talk about how good Lex was.
Oh my god,
Lex
dude,
was Lex
yes.
was amazing. Like literally saw a random hot dog stand owner pick Superman up. He said, "Who was that?" Right? So who was that? That's Ali or whatever his name was. Okay, and then brings him in front of Superman. Oh yeah, you remember this guy, right? We gonna play Russian roulette like that. It's like that, Lex. Lex did not care. Yo. Lex was it
Yeah,
was so good, and then he had like however many combinations of moves to make
that was what I loved.
Ultraman like the superior version of Superman.
Yeah,
Genius, and he's working that while like doing all this other stuff over here, telling his girlfriend like, "Get out the room, stop taking these selfies, you're in the way." He's doing it all. Like I love the way like James Gunn depicted like geniuses in this,
hmm,
like between Lex and then Miss Terrific, both like done amazingly well.
yeah.
Um, that was
With
just so. And then Lex's plans, like the whole like plot of him. One, he hates Superman,
yeah,
right? Two, using that hate to like just get some land, just cause he's just doing it just cause like he just needed an excuse. What did he say? I need an excuse to like to kill you. Isn't that what he
yeah.
said?
That speech at the end, I loved. I forgot.
Yeah,
I don't. I'm paraphrasing, but essentially he says like, I didn't do it to secure the land. I did all that because hating you is my calling, and I'm doing it to kill you.
that's crazy. And then he
But it's
cried
like,
when the little the little one single tear when like
yeah.
he got caught. Like, this
So
this man don't miss.
you made Lex's point. So
Mm-hmm.
you made it earlier when you said that like everyone's calm around the kaiju and everything because they just trust Superman to solve everything.
Yep.
And that right there is the crux of Lex Luthor's argument. Everyone thinks that Lex Luthor hates him just because of his ego. And yeah, that's absolutely true because Lex
Mm-hmm.
believes he should be the smartest and the best and the most worshipped because of everything he's worked to obtain. Whereas Superman just shows up and he just has the gift of infinite strength and everyone worships him for it. But it's also the fact that he believes that someone like Superman, if Superman solves all the problems, humanity as a result will not be able to progress because they won't do anything for themselves.
Yeah, and I
And we
think
saw that. We saw
yeah.
that when people backed off and just let Superman handle the kaiju, or when the entire Baravian conflict didn't end until superheroes got involved or until Superman
Mm-hmm.
stepped in. Like that is the crux of who Lex is. And I also like that, like to your point as well, that the way geniuses were depicted here, because it's like we've seen geniuses depicted in like let's say the MCU or other DC properties where they're just really smart, but they're smart in a kind of grounded way, with the exception of like that time that Tony Stark invented time travel. But like to see like the I was enjoying Lex for like half of the movie, but what really sold me was the scene you were talking about with the Russian roulette, but also seeing that this man used a black hole to replicate the Big Bang and create a pocket universe for all this shit he had going on. That is comics personified, and it's why you can never win a who would win debate in comic books because everybody always has this absurd feat from like 1970 something where a character became God or had the ability to defeat God based on his vast intellect for whatever reason, and that was perfectly embodied because it
Mm-hmm.
was trippy, it was crazy, it was out there, and like we don't see enough of that crazy shit because there was always this big push in films either because of like Nolan's impact with his Dark Knight trilogy or the
Mm-hmm.
X-Men with their leather to just seem grounded and seem relatable, and that's something that we can relate and connect to our own lives when comics aren't like that. Comics are Superman floating down a river made of antimatter protons that dissolve matter on contact that's being sucked into a black hole as he carries an alien baby and a floating head metamorpho guy floating like that. That's what I loved. That's why
What?
I loved so much of this movie.
Why did Metamorpho's son look like that? By the way, this I
I
didn't actually didn't understand that.
it's something in comics. It is accurate. I just don't know enough about Metamorpho.
Yeah, yeah. That's sorry. What Josh Ross was saying, it wasn't Metamorpho. It was he was an alien. He just why you insulting the baby like that, man?
I thought he was an alien. He looked like he was a little green baby. He looked like an alien.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Josh Ross. So he had him when he was Metamorpho. So because of that, he comes out the same way. All right. Also, I
Gotcha.
think Josh Ross made a good point. Like Lex did think he was the perfect being, which he probably is in the series or in the film. But then you have this it, right? Superman's not human.
Yeah.
I think that adds to it. But also, I think uh, at the end when like Rick Flag Senior, it like puts his
Hmm.
head down. I think he realized, oh, Lex is right, right? Because before he was like on Superman's side. Then he sees what happens and sees how people are responding. He's like, oh, Lex is right. Like we actually got to do something about this.
Because like he works with metahumans in Creature Commandos, so he
Yeah.
has an affection for them. And then maybe this whole thing is the transition that puts him in a place where like maybe he becomes either becomes like Amanda Waller or works alongside her or just like now we realize how big of a threat we're dealing with. Maybe he reignites Argus and has them go after the metas or act as like an arm of the government, just like in the comics. And that's I like that. Like I feel like there were a lot of little things that were teased that people didn't really lend enough credence to. So you had like the moment with Rick Flag Senior. Then you had the moment you mentioned with Mr. Terrific and Superman with the crack in the wall where the two universes came back together. Well, the two whatever the breach sealed again, and it was just slightly off. I feel like that could lead to something in the future. I might be overthinking it, but if something is slightly off, and Mr. Terrific was talking about how if the calculations are off even a little bit, it could result in the destruction of blah, 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 so on and so forth. That little thing might be an indication that we might have bigger problems down the line.
No, I don't. I don't think his rift ceiling was off. I think specifically just that building, right? So wherever the
Hmm.
way that building came back together was the only thing that was off. I think because since it was Mister Terrific that said it, I don't think he would
Yeah.
allow the calculations to be off because he knows what happens, right? So his
Hmm. I
calculations
mean,
were
he could make an
correct.
error.
Nah. He. I don't. I'm just. I don't think he made an error. I think his calculations were correct, and he was able to fix the rift. So there's actually no issue anymore. But when he fixed the rift, one of the buildings wasn't fixed completely, and the Superman noticed it, and then went over there with Mister Terrific to be like, it's kind of off here. And then that's when Mister Terrific goes and like, it's off, and then he gets mad. Because like you know what I did like because he did it right
That's
is
terrific.
yeah. Oh yeah.
What did you think
Sorry.
about? I'm sorry.
Good.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna start talking about Kara. Actually,
Yeah, I was gonna ask. Like, what did you think about Supergirl?
I like that Supergirl. Like, cause one for those who know, Supergirl's like she's actually older than Clark. Right? She gets in a cryogenic sleep when she gets sent to Earth. So she's like how what like 15 or how old is she when she comes to Earth?
So when she comes to Earth, there are different iterations of her story.
In the
Some
iteration
have
where
her
she's like
being
older and she's in cryogenic sleep on her way, and she like gets
so
sidetracked somehow.
she yeah she either gets sidetracked or she hits like a temporal dilation field, kind of like you've seen Interstellar, right?
Yeah,
So you know the part with the water planet where they go down and come back up, and the black dude is like 40 years older.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's like due to relativity and stuff like that. Like sometimes she hits like something like a field like that, and as a result, a moment passes over the course of 30 years, and when she shows up, Clark is already a grown ass man.
Yeah.
So
But
yeah,
she leaves the planet. She doesn't leave as a baby.
yeah,
That's what
yeah.
I'm
She's
saying.
aware of everything that happened.
Yeah.
She
So
lost a lot.
I like that she has a whole different like she was raised differently because she was raised on Krypton,
Yeah,
and like I like that like she's just a party girl. Uh, I like that she goes to planets with red suns just to get drunk because she can't anywhere else. I like that Crypto is her dog, so Crypto is not trained at all because dogs mirror their owners. So Crypto just
yeah.
acts like her. As soon as he saw her, like she broke into the fortress, and then Crypto immediately started destroying things because that's what she does. I loved all that, and then that also makes me excited to see her and Lobo.
Yeah.
whatever they do is going to be completely different from what we got from Superman. Like Superman was truly a Boy Scout, right? And then like the Molly girl, thanks Joshua. This Molly girl, Kara, doing coke and listening to Clip's album on a planet with a red sun. Whatever she doing with Lobo is gonna be completely different. I'm really excited for that. So it was good. It was good to see her.
Yeah.
That was really good,
Um,
and those androids were also good. I will say they were very good as well.
so Superman the film is comic accurate in the sense that like all of its major themes have been taken from various different Superman books. All Star Superman being one of its biggest inspirations. But it doesn't follow any particular story. Supergirl's movie is going to be a direct and probably one of the most accurate comic adaptations of her run, Woman of Tomorrow, which is, in my opinion, one of the best DC Comics books. Not to spoil too much of it, because I genuinely believe it's the same story is going to be replicated in live action. The reason why she's drinking and a party girl like that is because she's dealing with the trauma of having lost everything. Like you said, she grew up on Krypton. Like it wasn't like she has no connection or memory to it. It's like, what if one day literally everyone you knew and loved, including the home in which you all resided in, just blew up? How would you cope with that? And a lot of what her story is accepting that Krypton is gone, trying to find home elsewhere, going through all the rage and all the anger and everything that comes with it. Because one of Supergirl's defining traits is that anger because of everything she's lost. So there were a lot of people complaining online about how, like, oh, I hate that James Gunn turned her into a party girl because, it's because of his sick, crude humor. It's like, no, that's what happens in the actual comic. Even down to that ratty brown jacket she's wearing, she wears that in the comic. So like we are getting 100% comic accuracy with everything we're getting. Like
Yeah,
like seeing that made me more excited for the Supergirl movie.
I'm sorry. This is the one time I really don't understand all the James Gunn crude humor thing. I didn't see any of that in the film,
I
honestly.
saw it with the harem.
Yeah, again, I don't think they were talking about the harem. Even when
No.
they, you know how they took out the scene where someone punches, or Ultraman punches Crypto in the face
Yeah.
because people gasp. Like, I wish they would have kept that in. That's not like crude humor. That's like, this is what would happen. Like, don't rush me. Send
No,
this little
no,
dog
it
at me.
wasn't.
Oh,
It wasn't crude humor. It was just
Matt.
more out of place humor at times. Like for instance,
Maybe in the
like at the
Guardians films. I don't. You think there was out of place humor in Superman?
yeah, I would have liked it if that conversation at the end had lasted a little longer and not been interrupted by Crypto pulling a Hulk versus Loki on Lex.
Oh, that all right. I don't count that.
Yeah, that bothered me. I didn't like I thought the hashtag super shit wasn't all that funny.
Hmm.
Little things like that. But it didn't take me out of the movie the same way like the harem did. Like it was just like, you know, I feel like a lot of moments could have lingered a bit more. And that's where I would agree with you on the pacing.
Hmm.
But no, like it just Supergirl is supposed to be that drunken party girl because what she's like, we know what it's like to cope with tragedy in various ways. Some people become isolated recluses. Some people try to drown their sorrows in alcohol and partying and hedonism, and that's
Hmm.
exactly what she's doing. And she has every right to do that. Like she lost everything.
I didn't see any problem with her.
Yeah,
It was just
as
really
soon
good
as I
film.
saw her, I was like, oh shit, they're doing that.
Oh yeah, thank you, Josh Rossum, for mentioning it. Josh Rossum mentioned the Phantom Zone. Honestly, when I first saw it, I thought it was the Phantom Zone, and then
Mhm.
Lex explained what it was. Like, oh, so he just built a pocket dimension. Okay, that's cool. Uh,
I
but I
I
thought
think
like maybe General Zod is like out there somewhere, but it's just not. It's just Lex doing what Lex does.
so. The Phantom Zone is a prison for like made by Kryptonians.
Yeah.
So in order for him to have created that, he would have had to have the knowledge of it beforehand, which he didn't because he built that pocket dimension before
Mm.
he went to the Fortress of Solitude. So my theory is that black hole that's leads to a Bizarro world, and thus the clone that got sucked into it is going to come back Bizarro, like me, I'm Bizarro, like comic accurate Bizarro.
You were thinking these Bizarre World?
Yeah, I don't think that's Lex's intention, but I think that the clone being sucked in, he's going to end up going to some random place in the universe or multiverse or whatever, and it's going to be Bizarro World that's going to like corrupt him due to like a blue sun or a green sun or whatever alternate suns that give him like the gray skin, the yellow eyes, the hunched over monstrous appearance, and he's going to come back Bizarro either as a servant of newly freed Lex in the Legion of Doom, or he's going to come back as a hero. And then Superman had to team up with Bizarro to take on something. There's a lot of things you can do with that.
Imagine David Cornsweat. Or David or Daniel. It's Daniel, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's his name? Is it Daniel or David?
Cornsweat,
Yeah.
David Cornsweat.
I think it is David. All right. So imagine David Cornsweat, like, in the hunched over Bizarro, like. That's like, to me, all right, give him an Oscar. If he could do both.
Yeah, if he can, absolutely.
That would be good though. I didn't think
That'll be
about
his
that.
sinners.
I didn't think that was going to be Bizarre World. I thought it was just an arbitrary black hole in this dimension that Lex created, because it's just there. I didn't think
Yeah.
about it being Bizarre World. That would be amazing, actually. See, that's what I'm
Hmm.
saying. Like, this is why this is a great Superman movie. The possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
Comic accuracy, besides the parent message, I guess. Oh,
Joshua Austin said it'd be hilarious if they cast Henry Cavill as Bizarro.
man, I want Henry Cavill. I wanted Henry Cavill not I was about to say Galactus. What was his name? Not Apocalypse. I'm like Marvel. Doomsday.
Yeah.
Is that who it is? From Planet Apocalypse? What's his name?
Oh, Dark Side.
Dark Side. Thank you. That's who I want for as Henry Cavill to be. I think that would be
I
great.
I would like to see him come back. Okay, I would want him to have his moment of redemption the same way that Andrew Garfield did as Spider-Man. Because
Mm.
Spider-Man, like Andrew Garfield got trash movies, and it wasn't because of him. And I feel, even though I don't like Zack Snyder movies, I don't think Henry Cavill was the reason. I think if you gave him a better script, he would have knocked it out of the park and become a definitive version of Superman before David Cornsweet took up the role.
Mm.
I would like to see him come back, maybe like a Crisis on Infinite Earths kind of scenario in the future, but like his Kingdom Come Superman with like the graying temples and the more like that whole story. I think that'd be badass. If
Yeah, but
not that, and
see,
have him be like, uh, Superman Beyond or some other iteration where it's like, just give him his one chance. His one chance to prove that like he would have been great the same way Andrew Garfield got to do in No Way Home.
yeah, but I don't want variants, right? I think then we get too close to things being Marvel, right? If we get any like iteration of Superman, they should all look like David, right? That's why I'm glad
I
Ultraman looked like David or was just David.
I agree, but the thing is, like variants exist in DC the same way they do with Marvel. So like Power Girl, who everyone is excited to see for obvious reasons. She's a variant. She's Karen quote Star instead of Kara Zor-El. They have the same names, but Power Girl goes by Karen Star, and like she
Mm-hmm.
has her own corporation on Earth 2, and she's her own character. Doesn't look much like Kara from Earth 1, but like you can have different appearances and different versions of those characters. Just don't call them variants. Give them a different name.
How many other variants? I'm gonna call it variants. How many other variants do we have like that though? Because even when
Bat.
we were talking about Power Girl, and in my
Hmm.
mind I was like, oh, that's Galatea, because I remember, and I told you like when they did the Justice League Unlimited show, and they put
Yeah,
Galatea in there, they gave her Power Girl's outfit. So I
yeah.
always just combine them as the two. And sorry for those who know, Galatea is a clone of Supergirl that's aged up. Um,
So it's when it comes to variants in DC, they tend to be different people. So it's
mhm,
like you'll have Batman on like the Prime Earth, that's Bruce Wayne, but then on Earth 2, Bruce Wayne, his mother are killed, and Thomas Wayne becomes Batman as a result of that tragedy.
mhm.
Um, you have like the Crime Syndicate, which I would love to see in live action, where like you'll have Hal Jordan, but he's more of an embodiment of fear. I think that's one of the few examples of it being the same person in different realities. But then like Flash will be like Barry Allen in the Prime Earth, but then in Earth 3 it'll be Johnny Quick.
Mhm.
So you can
See,
you can play around
that's
with it.
that's fine, right? But like,
Mhm.
I just don't want like a bunch of versions of Superman that don't look like David.
I agree. Like I don't think you got to go that far. Like that what I'm thinking of is like 10, 15 years down the line. Like let's give
Okay.
us some time within this DCU to keep things relatively streamlined and not too chaotic. One
Mm,
timeline ideally, and then we can build to if you want to have like a Crisis on Infinite Earths thing. But if that does occur 10 to 15 years down the line,
mm.
give Henry Cavill just his moment to just be a symbol of hope and not snap necks and not say despairing angry shit like what's that phrase? He said, "No one dies good in this world." Why the fuck would you have Superman say some shit like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what those movies just aren't it.
Yeah, it
But
just
this one
I
is.
can't. So
All right,
with
all right,
my
Panama.
last thought with super
Feels
with
like Dante is a
Superman,
baddie, man. All right, Panama.
yeah, that, that's okay. What Joshua Awesome just said is a very good thing that I want to discuss. Everyone's talking about Battinson meeting this Superman. I don't think that's possible after seeing Superman.
Yeah, the world's too. Yeah, I don't see it happening either. It's like it's not whimsical, but it's like vibrant. I think it looks their worlds look too different. At this point, I don't even want them to meet. Right? I much rather have that be its own thing. And yes, the worlds are starkly different, like in the comics, like you're saying, Joshua Awesome. But like, it just don't it doesn't fit. I feel
So
like they got to do a whole new Gotham. I see why the DCU is preparing to do like a whole new Gotham and like Brave New World Batman.
So for me, it's not necessarily the aesthetics because to Joshua Awesome's point, like Metropolis and Gotham are like vastly different, literally night and day. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
Gotham has a daytime. I've heard rumors that it might. It's not been proven otherwise. It is perpetually dark, moon in the sky, Batman flying around, signal in the air. But that's a joke by the way. It definitely does have daytime. But it's more just the power level of Battinson's Batman that
Mm-hmm.
doesn't really fit with the DCU and what they've done. So if it's like if we take the feats demonstrated by Battinson, where it's like they're awesome, but they're heavily grounded in reality. They're things that a trained combatant can do. They're badass for what they're for the world that they're in. You take his fighting skills, you throw him into the DCU, he's getting washed by everybody. Like he was struggling with a few gangsters on a train platform. I wouldn't say struggling, but like it took him effort. But then like you have Mr.
No,
Terrific who just walked up with his T spheres and took out like 30 dudes casually, not even breaking a sweat.
no, sorry, no. Batfleck does not fit more. No,
All
I
right, well,
think
okay. His
no,
power set, like what he's demonstrated, not as like not by what we hate from the
no,
character. He
no,
does fit the Superman universe a lot more.
no.
And on top of that, it's like Batman's got to be a top tier genius. So he's got to be okay. Mr. Terrific is, let's say, the third smartest man. Batman has to be one step smarter than that. Nothing Battinson has done has given me the thought that, oh yeah, this guy can definitely solve how to
He's done
stop
his best.
a black hole.
But he's Detective Comics Batman. To me, like he not doing all that black hole stuff. He's like being a detective. He wasn't really a great detective. He's like still learning.
I was like, if he's
That's why Riddler
struggling with
was
like,
pissed. Like, no, you supposed to figure it out. What's wrong with you? He's pissed. I think Michael Keaton's Batman in that Flash movie
yes,
that fits right. That's
yes,
how it should look. That was like the fights we were that we expect. He could stand toe to toe with these people.
like Batman jumping out of planes and shit. Like that's just fantastical Batman. Like where it's like he's human, but also kind of not because if a human did any of this shit, they'd be pulped on impact. Like
Mm-hmm.
I can't see anything Battinson has done that would allow him to survive in the DCU as a superhero.
Yeah, nah. We need a new Flash, and then we need
Yes.
a. I I forgot that director's name, but I do want to see his whatever Batman he comes up with because he was
Hmm.
responsible for Michael Keaton's like portrayal in that Flash
Yeah,
movie, which was fantastic. It's the best part of the movie.
yeah.
That'll be
Also, I
good in
think
the
that like
DCU.
having Battinson step into the DCU compromises a lot of Battinson's own Reeves universe
Hmm.
because it's like you have him all of a sudden dealing with these insane, fantastical threats. It's like all of a sudden Penguin as a gangster doesn't seem possible anymore because it's like he managed to get everything he did dealing with just like word, like using his mouth, like using, be able to talk to people, like being able to swindle his way through shit and like being like outsmarting everybody. How do you outsmart a love struck scientist armed with a gat that can shoot ice? Like it just, there's nothing, it doesn't blend very well together, and it's like you would have to compromise a lot of what's already been established in the Reeves verse to make that happen, in my
Yeah,
opinion. Could you
yeah,
do it? Yes, but you would have to elevate everyone significantly to the point where Reeves verse doesn't become grounded anymore.
yeah.
Like it's no longer dealing with angry loners who are streaming attacks to like blow up stadiums and stuff. Like now you have to deal with Clayface, Poison Ivy, Man Bat. Who Battinson is getting washed by Man Bat. He can barely glide. He almost got
But
knocked out by
again,
a bridge.
he's year one Batman, so he's figuring it out.
He wouldn't figure out how to navigate the DCU as
All
year
right,
15 Batman.
this is wild stuff right now.
He has, okay, yes, okay, even if he's year two, if you look at the comics, even by year two, Batman knew how to do a lot of the things necessary to survive the DCU. He was trained by assassins. He
Mm.
had impregnated Talia al Ghul. He probably had met quite a few metahumans by then and knew how to develop contingency plans against them.
I do want a Batman that has like a Nightwing, right, and then
Yes,
a Red Robin, a Red Hood. I want to let's move past all of them. They're like around, and then we have a Damian Wayne. That's what I really want, especially since Superman established like all right, the DCU exists. Sorry, not DCU. Superheroes exist in this world, right? So people have been
yeah,
doing this for a while. And then I would assume Batman is not working with Maxwell Lord, so
yeah,
he's not joining the Justice League. No, no, sorry. Tim Drake is there, but Tim Drake is not Robin. Tim Drake is like I'd rather Tim Drake is Red Robin.
yeah,
So he's like doing his thing. He's like the best detective in the world. Red Robin is actually the best detective in the world, not Batman.
yeah.
Oh, Red Question's pretty good too, but it's Red Robin. So that's what I want. That's what I want to see. So yeah,
Agreed. It's late as hell, man. We gotta go.
it is. Yeah, we do gotta go. I'm gonna have to cut this. I'm gonna have to. This is we're going like 2 hours. Thank you
Jeez.
for all those that stuck with us. When I upload this, I'll probably split it up, so it'll be two videos. We didn't need that spoiler warning where we just made fun of our good friend Panamanian Thunder and his future Green Hill chain. We didn't need that because I'm gonna just cut this later. All right, but yeah, 7.5 out of 10 for me. Not because of anything character wise, more like pacing. And I agree with Just Rambling. It's probably because it's meant to look like a comic. That's why it's so abrupt like that. And then 9 out of 10 from Just Rambling, who saw it twice. Oh, we didn't talk about. Sorry, Superman. I think it made what 213 million opening weekend.
220 million.
220 million on a 200 what 50 million budget or something like that.
225, so they only undershot it by 5 million.
And that's only first week. So
Yeah. It's
yeah,
not doing good overseas though. It seems like people overseas either don't have faith in the DCU because of the 8 out of 10 past failures in cinema, ranging from like Suicide Squad to Justice League, blah blah blah. There might be souring sentiments towards the U.S. as a whole because Superman embodies truth, justice, and the American way, and as many of you know, the American way isn't exactly, you know, you
yeah.
know.
But they still made
Um,
what like 100 million overseas opening weekend.
yes, but they're down in a lot of markets, especially in China because China just isn't fucking with Hollywood projects the way they used to. And
Yeah,
overall, superhero sentiment kind of has soured because there's been a lot of bombs on both the DC and Marvel side. So I'm
yeah.
curious to see how Fantastic Four is going to do.
Well, next week. Remember, Fantastic Four comes out next week, so we're gonna see it. We'll talk about it, and again, I'm gonna split
Mhm.
this up, so don't worry about spoilers. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining. Until next time.
Peace.
I needed like a tagline. I was trying to think so. Whatever. Peace.